Boiling point in suburban New York. Daniel Cicero Sr. is under investigation after a very angry and profane-laced outburst outside a Long Island courthouse. Cicero says he is upset because his neighbor, who happens to be black, shot and killed his son and received a very light sentence.
So John White was convicted, though, of killing Cicero's son when the teen, along with an angry group of youths, threatened his own son. Well, White now wants Cicero arrested for what he said outside the courthouse. Listen.
Nice message it sends to society that as long as you're black and there's a problem at the end of your driveway, you can grab an illegal handgun and shoot someone in the face and get away with it. Well, let's see what happens when Aaron White gets shot and see how the laws are.
Wow. On our legal panel, former prosecutor Mathew Rosengart and Fox News legal analyst Mercedes Colwin. Mercedes, I'm going to go to you first. Daniel Cicero, was the kid that was shot. His father's now angry. He made, obviously, a comment that brings up the race card, which we often see in murders when you have black and white crimes like this. Can he be arrested for this?
Unlikely, because certainly there's no imminent harm here. It's not like he's sitting there saying, wait till Aaron gets shot. Here's my gun.
So you think it's okay what he said?
I think absolutely, because in context, though, Julie, because he's talking about the laws. He's not saying, I'm going to go out and kill Aaron. He's saying, look what the laws did here. My son was killed. What would happen if I were the murderer? What would happen if the perpetrator were white? He's actually criticizing the system.
Matthew?
Well, look at the language. I've got to respectfully disagree with my colleague Mercedes. The language was more than just general. Mr. Cicero said, well, let's see what happens when.
Not he gets shot.
But when Aaron White gets shot. That's serious. That's something the investigators have to take a look at. That's a little bit more than general language. That's a threat.
And
now,
Mercedes, it doesn't have to be imminent, as you alleged. Did you look up New York Penal Code Section 240? Aggravated harassment is a communication that threatens, harasses, annoys, or causes alarm, says nothing about imminence.
But it's all about what, and that's actually a violation. It's going to be pled down. If it is a violation, if he even gets arrested, it's not going to happen because this is a distraught father. The prosecutors, the law enforcement are going to look and say, how was this said? How was this communicated? What was he saying? We have to look at the context. It just can't be that he's actually sitting in the driveway and making these harassing comments. He didn't show up at White's home to make these comments.
I mean, I don't remember the last time that somebody made comments. I mean, first of all, what he said, it could have been a lot worse. He could have screamed out racial slurs and so forth. And unfortunately, in this country, you cannot be arrested if there isn't proof for an attempt on somebody's life. And the comments he made, there isn't really much water to them. But at what point, perhaps, do investigators say, we need to bring this guy in, maybe search his home, see if he does have a gun, see if he's planning something?
Right. Well, first, Greg, I did look at the statute, and you're absolutely correct. Secondly, the investigators have to take a hard look at this. If, for example, they conduct a search of Cicero's house and they find a gun or a knife, Cicero's in trouble.
Do they have probable cause, though, just by those comments?
They possibly do. It's a very, very low standard. Now, things get ratcheted up. Once they find a gun, if they find a gun, he's in trouble. To answer your original question, can he be charged? Certainly. Without a gun or a knife, will he be charged? Probably not.
Let's put it in better context by hearing more from John White as well as Daniel Cicero Sr. Here they are.
Can't reiterate enough that Aaron White is in no danger from me or anybody in my family or anybody I know.
There's been a constant set of threats against my family since this whole thing started, whether it be on the internet, whether it be in the street.
All right. Look, Cicero is an angry father. His grief may have obscured the fact that his son's own actions may have contributed to his death. Andrea Pizer, a columnist, sat through all of the evidence. Here's how she put it. Quote, John White stood in the driveway blinded by headlights, facing a drunken lynch mob whose members cried out for the blood of his son. In White's mind, it was kill or be killed. Kill or see his wife raped as threatened by that mob. Kill or let his son die. Daniel Cicero Sr. doesn't get it, but the justice system probably got it right. Manslaughter, 2 to 4 years.
Well, he had 20 minutes. White had 20 minutes. When his son came in and said, Dad, there's going to be a group of teenagers, he had 20 minutes. He could have called law enforcement. That's why he was charged with manslaughter. He had 20 minutes to call law enforcement, and he didn't. He decided to be vigilante instead.
I'm not sure if the system did get it right. I think this judge, who I do not know, but I think it's fair to assume that he may be a victim of a misguided sense of political correctness. An interesting point is, What if the victim here were black rather than white? Would the sentence be harsher?
Yeah.
I think probably so.
Tough case.
Matthew Rosengart, Mercedes Goldwyn, thank you very much. Always great to have you on.
Thanks so much.
Okay, we are watching the dangerous flooding in Missouri. Rivers are starting to recede. That's the good news, but the danger is not over there for the folks living in Missouri.
Can their homes and businesses be saved? We are live at the top of the hour. Keep it right here, the Fox News.